Ami, we're starting from here after Buddha warrior pounds the mortar.
Yep.
Right, and let's do these two movements, the lazy about tying the coat until single whip. Let's just look at it one time. You can step back from the camera a little bit so I can see all of you. Yeah.
I don't want to be too back because then I cannot hear you.
Yeah, no. First just do it and then you can come back to the camera just when you do it one time.
All right, so first from here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, good, very good. So let's go over some principles. Okay. So the first principle is like the circles. Like how do we do the circles? So the circles, right? The Hunyuan circles are circles that express themselves on the outside. So when you look at me, you see a circle. Okay, but this circle has few different components to it. One element is that it is composed of two parts. One is that is active, going outwards and upwards. And the other is that it is becoming more non-active, more relaxing, and it's going downwards and inward. So in other words, when I do a circle, and there are many circles, like you did, right? You did many circles just in these two moves. Any circle that you make, I start moving outward and upwards, right? So I want to move. I want to push it out. But then the second part of it, like when I get to the tip of it, imagine if you have a circle, there's like a tipping point. The tipping point is not wanting to move down. The tipping point is just to start to relax, allow gravity to take you down, but you then force it to come back to the center. So it's not going down over there. Because your arms are part of you, it goes down and retract back to the center. Until you become the most relaxed until you much in the center as possible, that you start moving to the second circle. So the Hunyuan is moving in circle, but it's not like you moving circles. You go out, expand outward and upwards, and then you stop expanding. You allow to retract and condense and go back to dantian, which is in the center of the abdomen. So, for example, when we start right at the beginning of this move, right, we make a circle like this, and we come back. So we don't make the whole circle, but rather I keep my center, I want to go up and out and out and out, and then in my mind, I start to relax and allow it to draw back. Right, so I'm not pulling it back. I just allow it to relax and relax and relax. So this, what I just explained to you now, is one aspect. Okay? It's one aspect. The other aspect that I want us to think about first, before you do another move, the other aspect is that the center has to stay solid. When I say relax, I don't mean collapse. So it's not like you want to move and then you relax. It's not that relaxed. Relax means that you retract the energy back into the center until it becomes solid. So you go out, you expand outside. When you relax, it means you come back. But in either one of these cases, there was no collapsing, not in the upper body and not in the center of the body. All right, so when we do this move and I say relax, it doesn't mean like this. It doesn't mean become flaccid. It doesn't mean it's not that relaxed. But rather you allow it to come back and you feel how you become strong here. solid. But solid, you know, with the stillness, not solid because you tense up. So there's no tensing up in Hunyuan Taiji. There is either expanding, becoming big, or relaxing, becoming solid. But solid does not mean stiffen up, okay? Going outside, you should be, so the whole exercise needs to be very relaxed, but very clear that you expand and you contract and become solid. Expand. Either way, you don't want to become stiff. Not when you go out and not when you come in. There's no stiffness in the entire circle. Okay, so let's try to do it again, just this part. You relax the hand to the front. Bring it back, relax, relax, relax. No, relax. Like don't go too fast. Don't go too fast into the other one. Just feel it how you become solid here. And then slowly and gradually start to expand, expand, expand. And when you can expand no more, start to relax and retract without pulling, not pulling. Just relax and become solid in the center, like in the dantian. From here we go we go to the side. Open, expand, expand, expand. Right? And then relax, just a little bit, relax. And then we do 2 silk reeling with both sides. Let's just do the right hand first, just the upper hand. Just do the upper hand. Okay, so here, this is another principle we need to touch on. The hands and the arms, they always move in relation to your dantian. They make a connection with the dantian. So right now, you can see you had no connection. Your hand were just doing this. So if you want to do this move, let's just focus on the right hand so we don't get confused. Let's just focus on the high hand, right? You want to do this kind of silk reeling, we call it, right? This kind of rotation. Yeah. Look, it starts from here. And it goes to my shoulder, and it goes to my elbow, and then it gets to the hand. It does not start with the hand. All right, so forget about the left hand. Let's just do the right hand. I keep my center solid, center. So I don't move it like this. I just feel like it rotates and it projects into my shoulder and into my elbow, and then it pulls my hand. Just imagine like you have a whip and your hand is the tip of the whip, but it's connected to the base of the whip. You know, it starts and it has to go through all the joints to the hand. So this move that we do here, the silk reeling and all the other silk reeling, they start from dantian, they rely on my legs pressing onto the floor, they go into my shoulder, into my elbow, into my hand, and then it comes out. Okay, so it's not this move.
So, Yaron, this will be the type of engagement that we are talking about also in the practical method, right? That's what you mean? That there will be like a whip or like a snake that's moving vertebra after vertebra, and it's all engaged between here through the dantian to the leg, yeah?
That's not the practical method. That's the Hunyuan. That whip action is the Hunyuan action.
But it's the same type of engagement that there is?
Yeah. They all have to be engaged. Otherwise, there's no connection between the foot and the head. So there's always needs to be engagement, different type. So let's just keep it separate for a moment. Just realize that it's from here, pulling the shoulder, the elbow, and then the hand. So look here. I pull the dantian. Just look at me one time. I pull the dantian, that pull the shoulder, that pull the elbow, that pull the hand. And then I press the dantian forward, that presses the shoulder, that presses the elbow, that presses the hand. It went here to here to here to here, and then here, like the dantian to the shoulder, to the elbow, to the hand. So it's not moving on its own. And this principle is the same for all the movements. It doesn't matter how the movement looks like. It starts from dantian to the shoulder, to the elbow, to the hand. And then when you go back from dantian to the shoulder, to the elbow, to the hand. This is like when we just talk about the upper half of the body. But of course, the bottom half is also engaged in an opposite way. Okay? But the point is, at the beginning, when we want to practice the Hunyuan, to realize that all the movement start from dantian and ends in the periphery, in both halves of the circle. Here, look at the movement that we said at the beginning. This movement is a little bit needs a little bit too much coordination. But let's do the simple movement like we did before. This circle. So it's a simple circle. But look, when I go out, it starts from dantian to my shoulders, to my elbows, to my hand. Now I want to relax and retract back. It starts from dantian to my shoulder, to my elbow, to my hand. All right, so sometimes people that practice Hunyuan, they kind of get a little bit misled because they focus on the hand. So the hand is going, the hand is coming, and it's actually not like this. It always starts from the dantian and expresses to the arms. In both halves of the circle, the half that goes out and also the half that comes back in. It starts from dantian and ends in the periphery. Okay, so from here, turn the dantian ever so slight, the shoulder, the elbow, the hand, and then turn the dantian back, the shoulder, the elbow, the hand, and you're back in the same position. Okay, now your hand actually should not face you at any time. So right now you have something with the hand that at the end it faces you somehow, but it shouldn't be that. So look, the hand points outside, my palm is facing outside, my palm is facing outside, and it's facing outside the whole time. So it didn't turn to me. Yeah. No, don't mix the practical method. Don't do this thing. Just keep your palm out. See, palm is facing out. Palm is always facing out. It does not turn to me.
Okay.
The same with the left hand. The left hand, it does not come to me like this. Okay. So practice that. There's some time you have too much movement. You have too much movement. Look, because just look at me one time without practicing. Just look at me. I'm moving the dantian that projects into the shoulder and into my elbow and into my hand. So, but I move the dantian ever so slightly, and so my arm coils and moves ever so slightly. So I cannot move this a little bit and my arm is doing this movement. If my arm will do this movement, it means that my dantian needs to move like this. But I don't want to do it. I just want to coil. I just want to coil. I don't want to do movements like this. Right? So as if the hands stay the same. They don't really move in space. I just move the dantian, project into the shoulder, into my elbows, into my hand, and back out. You see?
Yeah.
So it's not really moving like this.
Yeah. So the silk ring is
as if your hands are always there. Just imagine someone is holding my hand. Just imagine you're my opponent and you're holding my hand. There's no way for me to do this move. It's still holding, and it's still holding, except that I just projected out the energy, right? By this dantian back and forth, projecting through my limbs, I was able to take incoming force and project it back out, but there was not that move. right? So just imagine
that's
this.
the application, Yaron. Is
Yeah,
that really
yeah.
the application of the movement? Okay.
Yes. Okay, so you have incoming force, you transform it, and then you project it back out at exactly the same place where it came from. Okay, that's good. That's not, no. Don't do this thing. Don't do that thing with the forearm. Just keep it cool, so to speak. Keep it where it is. Okay, but don't move here too much. This is, people like to do it, practitioner likes to do it. It's fancy, but it's wrong. Don't do this. There's not this. When you do this kind of movement, you lose totally the integrity. So it
So you
looks
don't
nice.
stretch the rib muscles at all?
No, you do stretch. You do stretch, but it's you cannot see it. It's like an internal movement. This is an external movement. Don't try to, because sometimes, students, they misunderstand the teacher kind of instruction. He says you need to move inside, and they said, okay, they try to jiggle their lungs and stomach and things. Don't do this kind of movement. What's important here is the connectivity. So you turn a little bit the dantian, and you feel connection to the arm. All right, good. Don't move. Don't fancy up. Don't fancy up the body. Keep it solid. Like when I remember looking at Master Feng practicing, there was never this movement. It looks like he's not moving. It's not that movement that everybody is doing. Just keep the connection, rotate a little bit, keep the connection, then close. Right, after that, we go to the next one, close. Bring the left hand into the right wrist, into the right elbow. You turn both palms out, open in two arches, and bring the right knee up. Then make a step to the right, and bring the hand back to the same place.
Shift weight first, yeah?
Yeah, but look, the integrity of the movement is like this. So the left hand is in the right elbow crease. Which one is your left hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so the left hand is in the right elbow.
Oh.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh.
But the bottom of your wrist is at the crease of the elbow, so not like this. The bottom of the wrist is at the crease of the elbow. Okay? And your right hand is pointing to the front left corner, so not totally to the side, but to the front left corner. Your weight is on the left foot.
Yeah.
Right? And then you shift gradually to the right foot. The movement starts from dantian into your shoulder, into your elbow, into your wrist, and into the fingers. Okay, so don't let the hand lead. Don't let the hand lead out. Right? Remember, like a whip action. From dantian into the shoulder, into the elbow, into the hand, into the fingertips.
And then eliminate the elbow and the shoulder, yeah?
No, no. Not eliminate, but you relax and condense and bring back to dantian. Right?
Okay. So
but how do we bring back to dantian? We don't start from the hand. Remember, it always starts from dantian. The first half to go out, start from dantian, into the shoulder, into the elbow, into the wrist, into the finger. And then it starts from dantian, into the shoulder, into the elbow, into the finger. It always comes from the center out, both halves of the circle. Right? It doesn't start from the dantian to go out and then start from the finger to come in. It always starts from the center, the projecting out, and the relaxing, condensing inward. It always start the same, from the center out. Right? Shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Okay, but more, because right now it looks like you are doing an action to lower it. Remember what we said? The lowering part is through relaxing and condensing. It's not through pressing down. The going out is an action. The coming down is a relaxation.
Okay.
It's not forcing yourself down. It's not always action, action, action. Otherwise, it's not Tai Chi.
So this is also a circle, actually. It's like going, coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't chop it down like this. Look from the side. So it just sits down. The elbow sinks into the hip. The shoulder sinks into the hip. The elbow sinks into the knee. The wrist sinks into the heel. And then the next move. Let's do the next move. Also, just try to avoid this. You always have this, and we don't have this move. Yeah, you always get your palm to face you somehow, but we don't have this. Okay, so for example, from this move, look, my palm is facing out. Let me face the camera. I don't know if you can see it, but my palm is down. It's facing away from me over there, and then it's facing back out. Right, my palm did this and back out. It never went here. Yeah, it doesn't have it. You see, it doesn't get to face me, the palm.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, good point.
Yeah, but also pay attention. You do a lot of time this movement. You have this kind of a rotation on the elbow, and we don't have this either. In other words, all the movement of these joints needs to reflect the rotation of the dantian. So if you did this movement, your dantian needs to be in the corner of the room there, outside of your body, 10 feet away. Right? So you move your arm too liberally, that kind of a thing. You always need to think, when you move the dantian, the body goes with it. When you move the dantian, the body goes with it. But it's not because you have the flexibility to move it, you move it any way you want. Right? You want to connect your whole body, going out, 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 and relaxing back in, out, 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 out. But connect the joints to the movement of the dantian. Don't be too free to move your arms, That's one of the things that we want to learn in Tai Chi, is to retrain how we move our limbs. Because normally you have no connection with the body and you just move your arms any way you want. Now it has to be related to the center, the movement of the center.
So it's more like that?
Yeah. But the fingers sideways, so not up in this move. Yeah, not up, not like this, like this. Yeah, like this, yeah. Alright, so we finish like this. Relax. Consolidate. Yeah, no, don't go up too fast. Relax. This is called, in Chinese, called Dao Wei, getting to the position, also getting to the right flavor, so to speak. Right? So your relaxation part, the condensation part, is way too short. You're eager to move. So you do a little bit and you want to move a lot. The relaxation is very difficult. Just slowly go in. Relax. More and more and more. Like practice this more and more and more until there's no more possible. And then you start moving gradually out. More moving, more moving, more moving until you cannot move anymore. You turn the polarity, you start to relax again. Right? So when you look at the circle, it starts small a little bit, but then there's more of it, more of it, more of it, more of it, until you have to switch polarity to the other side, like to relaxing. And it starts a little bit relaxing, then more of it, more. You understand? It's like you gradually go into the polarities of each side of the movement and this. Don't move all the time. All right? So from here...
I understand it, but I always find it challenging.
Okay, but you need to realize it, so now when you practice, start to incorporate it, you know. So then 6 sealing and 4 closing. The left hand is in front of the right elbow, and you maintain this distance between the hand and the elbow. The right palm facing down, the left palm facing up towards your shoulder. Yeah, but a little bit, no, I mean it's in front of the elbow, but the palm is facing the shoulder. The direction is the palm. Relax, relax. When we say relax, remember it's not collapse. Relax means condense. Become solid, as if you're a pillar, solid. And then you pivot and you start opening. Right? So the opponent came towards you, you become center, and then they pass your center and you lead them away from you. Right? You lead them away from you. But don't lean inside. Keep it solid.
Shift weights to left leg, yeah?
Yeah, on the left leg. But look, my hand is in front of the center. So no, your hand went way too far. The right hand is in front of my center. The fingers are pointing forward and a little bit up. The left hand is behind. The left hand is behind, not in front. Okay? Just imagine you hold the opponent, the wrist of the opponent, the elbow of the opponent. I mean the wrist of the opponent here, the elbow of the opponent here. Your hand sits on their elbow. And they come into you, they launch into you. You allow them, you relax, but you become solid. Solid until you pivot. You rotate the body without shifting, not here and not there. This hand, this hand when it comes up like this, your right leg and your right hip and your right knee needs to descend. So it's like opening this way. Okay? Here. Let's look at this part. Okay. But keep the right hand in the center. Don't let the right hand to pass you. The front hand gets only to your center, and then you turn, it's still on the center. Right, don't let it go back. Okay. And the next move, both hands to the right side, open. I mean, it's still 6 sealing and 4 closing. Bring the left foot, right? Bring the left foot to the right. Palms facing down away from you. So fingers not straight down. Fingers pointing each other. Fingers pointing towards each other. Yeah, the arms are a little bent here. So your weight is on your right leg. Your left toes are on the floor. And the left knee. Right, the left knee is bent.
Yeah.
Okay. Relax. Relax. Relax means not a little bit. Relax is go in, solid, more solid. So the reason that we call it relax is when you look from the outside, it looks like you're doing less and less. Drop the hand, everything seems to be more and more relaxed, but inside of you, you feel like it's becoming more and more solid. Remember, so we mentioned it before. Relax does not mean flaccid or collapse. Not that relax. Relax means just stop moving, stop doing anything, and just feel inside solid.
Yaron, is that relaxation quality, it's also when our sternum kind of sinking down and our rib muscle, which were like more kind of opening before and stretching out, and suddenly then it's an inner movement, a yin movement, and the rib muscle getting relaxed and the sternum kind of going in a bit. Is that what you are talking about? Just physically, I want to understand physically, because the song, the mental relaxation, I understand as much as difficult it is to do, but physically, it's meant to really relax physically the inside muscle.
Yeah, so there are two ways. There are two ways to understand the circle. One is that you go out and you come in, you force the action either way. Right? So first we have this issue, and we need to understand that it's not this. You go out, you want action, you come in, you want to allow gravity to allow you to come in. So it's not the in and out by force. Now in the relaxation, there's also two sides to it. There's one relaxation which basically makes you flaccid, like you collapse on the couch. That's relaxed. But there's also relaxation where you become more and more composed. You don't need to do something. You don't need to tense up. But you're not losing your consciousness, you know. You're not losing your focus. But physically, you're not contracting. Understand? So there's actually four things here. Two sets of two. One is to think that going in and out is all movement, and that's wrong. Out is moving, in is allowing it to come back. Okay, so that's the fix to that issue. In and out is not all movement. Now, talking about the relaxation, there's also two different kinds. One of them is wrong. Relaxation and allowing yourself to collapse, like you want to go to sleep, is wrong. Relaxing while maintaining the intent and feeling that while you relax, you become solid like the earth without tensing. That's the right one. Understand? The two sets of
in yoga
two,
they call
each
it
one of them
relax,
has
but still be active.
Yeah, no, relax, but being full. Relax in a way of becoming solid. So you can become solid by tensing up. So that's solid. But you can also become solid by relaxing. The same thing with relaxation. You can be very, very full and composed and relaxed, or you can be very flaccid and relaxed. Right? So just need to know what we're after. So you move, 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 and when you relax, you feel your dantian and your center becoming more and more solid without tensing the muscle, without squeezing the muscles. Okay? So just think about it that way. After the 6 healing and 4 closing, let's go back to the 6 healing and 4 closing. We finished that. Relax and not flaccid. Relax and become solid. Feel, without tensing the muscle, just feel how you become full of intent. And then you go into the obliquely opening. From dantian, no, not from the hand. You see, you lead with the hand. From dantian, start with the shoulder, then with the elbow, then with the hand. Okay, don't lead with the hand.
So no first with a finger thing, nothing to do with that. It's an expansion of the body. I see.
Yeah, expansion, leading into the elbow, leading into the hand. But when you get here, you see, because here you have two different circles. You have a positive kind of revolution and you have a negative revolution. So the going out is up to here. But now what happened after we go out? We have to relax and become solid in the center. Just relax. Allow the gravity to bring you into the center. Yeah, not by moving, not by forcing yourself. Just relax, relax, without collapsing. Relax and become solid in the center. And then there's no more, you cannot become more solid. You're just as relaxed as it gets. You start doing the next one. Open, 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 until you cannot stretch anymore. And then you start to relax again and go back into dantian. You know, condense, 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 become more solid in the center. More solid in the center. And then we make a step for single whip. First open, just feel like you're expanding, right? Expand, expand, expand. Relax back, become solid. Circle around dantian. Go out to the wrist. And now look from dantian. Dantian is moving, the shoulder is moving, the elbow is moving, the wrist is moving into the hand and the fingers.
Okay.
Right, look at this last part. The dantian is pressing into my shoulder, into my elbow, into my wrist, into my fingers, and then it relaxes. My dantian goes back, my shoulder relaxes, my elbow relaxes, my wrist, my fingers relax, but look, they don't collapse. Relax, but don't collapse. You understand? So imagine the hand stays there, but it just sinks, and everything, or the whole power draws back into dantian. So you become solid, but not stiff. Yeah, good.
Very different. Okay, that was good.
Yeah.
So
So a few
I
things to pay.
understand now that.
Yeah, the concept is different. It's not the body dynamics that we're after, you know, with leveraging principle. It's not that what we're after. Just connecting how to
And it is,
expand and how to become solid.
and it is the same type of connection, but very different method to.
Yeah,
Very different method.
And don't lead with the
Much more
hand.
advanced.
Don't lead with the hand. Remember that. Don't do this. Don't lead with the hand. So practically speaking, if you do this move and you start with the shoulder and the elbow and the hand, and an opponent stand here, it will be difficult for you to come out. That's why we don't call it practical. Right? Practical will be to be in a different position to come out. But that's why we're practicing Hunyuan method now, which is different. We're practicing something else. And this is the ability to expand and become solid without collapsing. Expanding without becoming tense, becoming solid without collapsing. Like relaxed.
So just take your example that you have an opponent blocking your shoulder, which practically we will just go and straight the line basically and eliminate him. Is in Hunyuan, the idea is to go over him, basically, to continue the circle, eliminate him and be over.
We're practicing something else. It's not the arm application. Right? We're practicing here how to become solid and strengthening the core. Imagine that's what you want to practice. How to become super solid, because at the end, when we're talking about an opponent, if you have a very strong core, you have a lot of power. Doesn't matter how dynamic you are. If you have like, you want to push on someone and it seems like they're 500-pound heavy, you just can't push them. Right? But you practice it. If you stiffen up, it doesn't matter. You're still light. You go up on your toes, even if you're very strong. It's that relaxation that makes you feel very solid. So that's why I say every time when we relax, it's not collapsing. It's just getting used to that feeling, becoming heavy in the center. So the reason that we practice in that way is because we want to emphasize learning this skill, becoming solid. At least on the initial level, but there's other dimension for Hunyuan, you know, more spiritual and thing that you can get to through this practice. You want to be in harmony with heaven and earth and all kind of things that from a practical point of view are just too philosophical and too esoteric and have no value. But for some people, practicing Hunyuan is not just a practical application. It's a more spiritual practice of how to become part of heaven and earth, how to be a more happy person. So that's allows you access. When you practice Hunyuan, you have a different method to go other places.
But Master Feng had a very serious fighting skills also. Very
and
impressive
he learned
one.
other martial arts too.
Yeah.
Like the Yi and this and Baji and stuff like this. So he had other martial arts skills. So, but that's one thing, to learn how to fight. Overall, Taiji may not be the most effective fighting methods in the world. If that's the ultimate goal, just that goal, how to kick ass. But if you have other objectives too, and I'm not just talking about health, how to live and experience yourself and your body, Hunyuan has a lot to offer in that respect. But related directly to martial application is this becoming solid. This is relevant. This is relevant. Becoming full and heavy and grounded and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Makes sense?
I love it. I love the concept of Hunyuan. I wanted to practice Hunyuan Tai Chi for a very long time, and the truth is, I know the Qigong and even the song exercises that you put on YouTube. I looked on all of them, and I do many Qigong from other school, but really love the concept of the Hunyuan, and especially how it's connected to the philosophy and then the medicine, and it's really a whole very very serious big system, especially the way that you present it also. So I'm really happy to get a direct instruction. First time I'm getting a proper Hunyuan instructions. All my Hunyuan is only recordings.
Well, I think it's important to set the expectation right. Sometimes, especially in martial arts circles, many people just do the consideration is like who can kick ass more to validate the system or not. And to a degree, when you say martial art, means fighting ability. That's what it means. Who can kick ass more? MMA or Tai Chi or stuff or karate. But I think at least for Master Feng, when I was learning with him in his later years, I don't know when he was young, if it was different. There was a much more spiritual health side, being happy, there was a lot of elements involved. And I think maybe more influence from his Hunyuan Chen teacher, like more spiritual side of things, medical side of things. So I think, Hunyuan has a lot to offer aside from just saying who kick ass more, So if you're after the pursuit of kick ass, I think MMA is really a good system. Go fight, bleed, break your nose, and that's good. But for us,
I did all of those things in the past, Yaron. I did all of that in the past for many years.
Yeah. But I'm saying
no.
for the pursuit of happiness and being healthy and feeling solid, with some aspects to martial arts too, the way we explained today has some martial application as well. It's I think has a lot to offer. The Hunyuan Taiji system really has a lot to offer. It gives you like a ground to develop into places that are really, really good. Beyond just fighting, kind of an idea. So that's what I can.
Yeah. Agree, and I love it. And let's do it again.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for joining in the class today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Yaron, for your time. I loved it. Thank you very much.